Good evening, everybody. Good morning. Good evening. Good morning. Good night. Everything will be all right. BB likes when I sing that. BB King, it is. He was impressed. He told me when he looked at me with his Ray Charles eyes that I was going to be something. I came here and found out today I was nothing.
I think the wonder of Stevie Wonder is the fact that he's fooled everybody this long.
How do we have one watcher and I am posting this unlisted? I tell you, people just be deceptive because it's private. That's crazy. All right, let's get this
Unlisted don't mean private.
You are not going to. You're just not going to. On yesterday, Trevor told me, he said, Jeremiah, I need you to read The Mob Job. I said, what are you talking about? He said, I know you don't read.
Or write.
And his friend said, Jeremiah, I know you don't think. And I just came on the day to tell somebody I read, write, think, and anticipate.
And arithmetic.
I manipulate too with my chin hair and my glasses. You want some shades?
Yes.
I have a new pair.
Since they took mine. Or they're still in the car.
You guys just don't know how unbelievably bright it is in here. Just don't say nothing. Yeah. You like those? I didn't think you would like that style. That's why I got you the ones that I got you. I didn't think you would like those. Seriously? You want them?
It reminds me a lot of the camo.
We'll get you some tomorrow. Tomorrow morning. Just remind me. We'll get you some. I will let you have those, but I ordered those special for me. Oh, we gonna do the Mohawks, huh?
I actually have my clippers. I've been meaning to ask you if you would help me.
I need them. You seen them? The dude's head? Now, after I use them, you probably don't want to use them no more. Yeah, some stuff you gotta pray about, bro, and throw away. Got to let it go.
Well, them people have my other pair.
Well, that's okay. Still got more. Because after this one, I'm telling you, you won't want these. Those seriously look good. I like those glasses. I want to trade mine, but I couldn't afford them, so I couldn't be like Trevor. I had to be Jaie. Don't you hate it when people wear their sunglasses and put their glasses underneath their sunglasses?
I was gonna do that, and I said no. You can't do that with these kind of glasses.
Those are special. Yeah, so special they came in on the box, and I waited for them. All right, let's go ahead and get started because somebody's gonna get slated and confused, and then they're gonna end up dying and going to a place that's meant for them.
Yeah, that one view.
That's nobody but me or BB. It could be you at home watching.
Right.
That's creepy. In alternate universes. Why the laptop makes me look silly, but this one makes me look flawless?
It's probably them people. That's who that people is. They keep in tabs.
That's Larry. What's going on, Larry?
That's who the hell I was talking about.
What's going on, Shmary? Y'all like the lamp in the background? I thought
the ambiance. I like that word.
Yeah. All right. Today we're talking about the job, the Bible,
and the mob.
I was waiting for them to leave, but they stayed. So I guess the Bible didn't scare them. I wonder how Facebook feels about this. Don't forget, to look up every once in a while. We have 13 cameras in the room, 4 of them which we brought. That's what me and BB came to, like the very first Airbnb we stayed in was like, I promise you, I swear that place had cameras.
I don't doubt it.
Now that's the only place that like I felt like that in. Every other place I'm like, maybe they have one at the door, but this place I can't prove it, not yet, until they come out with the video of what I did in the room by myself, in the restroom. I'm sure of it.
I've already seen the footage. I was gonna ask you if you got paid. If not, I can help you.
Well, they monetize my YouTube, so
No, they just monitor.
Oh.
Because you're connected to me.
That's why I don't see no money.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what they're doing now. Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, you thought it said monetize. It said
Yeah.
monitor.
Okay. That's different. I didn't know that.
Monitorize.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for clearing that up. I didn't know. What the hell is wrong with this thing? I did it the other day and it worked. Can I do it like that? Okay, there we go.
You cutting the timer off?
No, I was trying to turn it on, but the camera doesn't work. I meant the record thing doesn't work. And it keeps telling me to upgrade. You know what? God, move Trevor out of my way. He said, move the laptop. I did. There. Trevor, now you're out of my way. All right. Come on, man. Let's go ahead and do this before God gets mad and tear down this building.
He was gonna do it regardless, but okay.
Yeah, if we do this, he'll do it a lot later rather than sooner. The bombing happened like right across the street. Like that.
Well,
No.
and I heard people weren't even there. Like it was too early in the morning.
Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. It was somewhere around that. But like, yeah.
Stores weren't even open.
Yeah, there's no stores. It's like office buildings. Like it was right back here, which is back there. Yeah.
That's crazy. So it's like they were just looking to like make a point, prove a point, rather than actually do something.
Who, AT&T? Yeah. Yeah, they was looking to prove a point. That's why they hired that man. Set that man up. Probably shouldn't say that. But I do believe that. And you know what? Forget AT&T because they want to blow up and stuff and pretend like it was like a 5G tower. There wasn't no damn towers around there.
A few hours later, a tower got destroyed in Huntsville, like up there on the mountain.
I didn't know that.
So like a lot of people who are out there in the country, Woodville, Scottsboro, a bunch of places, like they had no service.
It was like countrywide. Mm-hmm. It's interesting. Like we'll ride down there. I'm gonna show you. Like the buildings have no damage other than smoke damage.
So then it wasn't. It was more of an EMP, electrical magnetic pulse, meaning it destroys the electricity.
It was a decoy, I believe. I do. I believe it was like opportunity, and they seized it because a company that big, mm-hmm. who's in the middle of like a buying fight for more 5G space between them and T-Mobile and Verizon, and my favorite Verizon. Like they have to do something, but like what better way to post up 20 billion than have a disruption in service? Mm-hmm. You know what a 2-day disruption to normal company is?
It's like millions of dollars.
Normal company. I didn't say major, son. I said normal. What would you charge somebody if they didn't get done with their working time that prevented you from opening per day for 2 days?
Would I charge them?
Mm-hmm.
So just say if they're supposed to be doing something, they're charging me $30 a day.
Mm-hmm.
And then they don't get it done.
Right.
I pretty much want everything that I was paying times 2. Pretty much for their wasted time and mine. So
it would be your cost that you would make, your cost of damages for because you still would have made
right.
money. Now in a court of law, it can go up to times 2 or times 10 of what your average that time last year would have been. So if you made like $30 million in one day, they owe you $60 million at minimum times 210 for the cost of disruption. That's why, like in corporate accounts and stuff, when they want to like flag your account at AT&T with those toxic asses, if they want to do stuff like that, I charge them cost of business. They turn it right back on. That's information for somebody. When you have a business, they cut you off. It don't matter what for. They cut you off. You can charge the cost of business. I guarantee you call them and tell them that, they'll cut it right back on. It don't matter if it's a subscription to Playboy. Hustler will send it right back out to you. Here goes, sir. I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's interesting, but that's facts though.
Yo, we learned that with that one lady. No, did you apply for that one job? Way back when we had all ran away from Kyle because he was the sheep in the wolf's clothing, or he was just a wolf in the enemy.
Wolf, yeah.
He had said, no, not him. The smarter lady. This is a black lady I had applied for. I think you did refer me to her. Anyway, it was this woman I had applied to, and she was talking about like whatever, but she had these jobs where we would go and clean, like construction cleaning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I forget her name.
Pretty lady, pretty black. She was thick and sick.
But you know, I didn't stay out there because I eventually got the contract for Chocolate Crocodile.
But this was after. Well, yeah. You did.
Because the reason why I got that is because they were tired of cows.
Yeah. Kate.
That's enough said right there.
Yeah, you can end life on that.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. All right. That has been our intermission, our deliberation. That has been today's solution.
I think she was the GM out there.
What did you say?
I think she's the GM out there.
Oh, she be general managing something. She do that.
She used to like confide in me, tell me stuff about her English. I used to be like, don't tell me that.
You were egging it on. I knew you then. The today you would be like, no, get away from Lucifer. Back then you would be like, come here, say that.
He did what, girl?
Yeah. Why would your voice go higher?
Because that, they look at this like, oh, he ain't intimidating.
And do you? All right. The job. I don't know why it would close as if I'm out of space, but this toxic laptop only got 4 gigs. Did you know that they make this thing with a 4 gig processor?
That's dumb.
That's crazy.
My phone has more than that.
It does not. Your phone has like 3 gigs.
I bought one.
You can't buy more memory, sir. You can buy more gigabytes.
No, I bought more.
How'd you do that? Well, look,
I said to my dad, they quickly.
Okay. Sorry. I think spit made it worse, but there you have it. Oh, there's more glitter in the background, more lights. Okay. Before somebody dies and goes to that place that the enemy lives, I wanted to tell you today. Um, I be singing to myself in the morning. It just happens to be that time. Lord, I thank you.
Mm-hmm.
God, I praise you. That. Lift you up and I magnify your name. That's where my heart is filled with praise. You know, it be moments and stuff on live or whatever. I get nervous. I do. I get on. No matter how many times you do it, and you're only looking at yourself,
Right.
seeing the numbers pop up. It sends a trigger inside of me, but I have God's voice behind me to be like, Jeremiah, you're doing this for me. Don't tailor it. If he pushes you, do it, say it. Like, come and I'll be one to sing and I don't. And he's like, it's not for them. It's for me.
Yeah.
Worship. Catch myself.
Lift your voice.
So I want you to worship me with a song and a dance, with a tambourine, with an umbrella, with your glasses on, with your fro balled off, or your balled off, smalled off. Worship me. So God, I thank you.
Yes.
He's been good. Ain't he been good?
Better than what I deserve.
Better than what I've been to myself.
Yeah.
Yesterday he told me, he was like, maybe you shouldn't invest. Here's his protection. He won't let me fall. I said something in our conversation. I was like, if I fall, it's just me. And I got to correct that. It's not. Like, God has been the trampoline.
Right.
God has been what's been holding me to stand up here and use my breath to be like, if I fall, he let me. And then he catches me. And then if I hit the ground, he didn't kill me.
Mm-hmm.
But my life is supposed to be that's where you got to get to. My life is a testimony.
Yeah.
That's what you said. You said, Jaie, it ain't about me. Don't think of it as me. Says my life is a testimony. Look at me as a book. Trevor said, Jaie, read me.
I actually get joy being able to be transparent, tell people certain things. Like when we were at walk outside, I'm uncertain of like why, but I started talking about God, and then I started talking about me being arrested.
Mm.
And then they were like, well, what'd you get arrested for? I mean, I had no hesitation. And I told them, and I said what I got charged for, what I had, what, you know, and
you never know who struggles. And so your transparency could have been the brick that broke the bridge that was holding her hostage to that side. And people be needing that.
The waitress told me, she said, thank you for being a friend. And traveled down the road and back again. No, she said, thank you. She said, I have family who are closet. She said, they'll judge you in your face, but then behind closed doors, they do the exact same thing. She said, you have no idea how thankful I am for you to be transparent. I said, well, that was nothing but God, because I just did what he told me to do. I didn't come in here expecting to tell what I just got out of jail for.
Yeah.
I came in here for some food and
come on. That's what Jeremiah said. He said, I'm in the well. Don't pay no never mind to what threw me in the well. Catch that. Listen to me being in the well, screaming, God, I'm well. And when you come out, the testimony is for people who can actually handle your water because they need it. You know, folk be starving and thirsty and be scared to say something because they don't know if people are well enough to quench, to like be a drink. I remember way back when you helped me get into rehab. You know the saddest thing about that is I never even knew there was an option until y'all told me. Think about that. The whole time you're probably thinking, God, he needs to go to rehab. Everybody is, but there wasn't even a real option in my head. I had no idea places like that existed. A methadone clinic on a daily that's free. I had no idea. And so they're held captive and they're waiting for you to literally be driving and on the way to show up and speak. What if the entire thing was just to share a story for her or for somebody in the background who couldn't testify and be like, hey man, that's good, but they heard it. That's why you say it. No matter how you feel about it, say it, because somebody needed that.
Sometimes we have to go through things and we may, in the midst of them, look at them like, what the hell? But then when you seemingly come out of it, it wasn't for you to go through hell. It was for you to help somebody out of hell.
Come on. You are delivering hell today. Delivering hell today. I mean, you got to look at it different. Not you. You do. You one person. You 5 folk. You 10 different people. Ain't anybody out there with us. You got to look at it different and say, God, I know I'm not in this just to die in it. So if I'm not going to die, then that must mean I'm here to rest. I was going to say resurrect, but to rectify somebody. You're here for the resurrection, not yours, because you didn't die.
Right.
Theirs.
You know,
dead people walking around.
The last time that we talked, I told you, I'm not going to call you anymore. I said, I'm just going to put it in God's hands. I think we said some other stuff, and then like the phone hung up, and I was like, that was it. And right before I laid down, before they took me to the back, I said, you know what, Lord, even if I don't get out, then I realize I'm here for a reason, and I just need to continue to glorify your name. Maybe whichever pod that I'm going to, whichever cell that I'm going to, I need to profess your name to whoever's in that pod, because somebody obviously clearly needs to be saved, and that is the reason why I'm here. And I said, no, I'm going to stop crying about it. And then I was able to actually lay down.
That's why it took you so long to come out.
No, I think that was just because they take their time.
Yeah, it was, but we had been out there waiting for you for a while. But this is what I'm saying though, regardless if it was 10 years ago, regardless if it was 30 years ago, your story of light of that would change somebody seeing it. There's somebody who's locked up right now. You know that? There's somebody watching this. When they catch the replay of it, you're locked up right now. In your mind, in a marriage, in a relationship, in a job that you hate but cannot quit. There's somebody literally locked up and they're just trying to do an escape. And if you're like me, you struggle, right? So there's drug addiction, there's like prostitution, there's like the weight of how you spend, and now you feel like you got to steal in order just to maintain. I'm talking to somebody who's locked up in it. Now your charges aren't as grave, some traffic stuff, but I'm telling you, your problem, my problem, our sin problem is the same. We all struggle. And regardless of what it is, at some point in time, understand your bond is made.
Yeah.
When you can lay it down, God is in your hands. That's literally when he starts moving people. Moving. You know, I was driving around in circles. Yeah, I was driving around in circles and I was waiting to hear from him that it was okay to go. Because what I heard was something different that ended in like detriment. And I was praying against it. The entire time I was talking to you, I was praying against it. And I'm like, if truth would set him, will my prayer set me? Because if you're saved and spared, then that makes me the sacrifice. It's wrong with my son in the background. I'm like, God, change it, fix it, right? Bless it. Because I know there's nothing but me and my enemy. Well, I would speak against your future wealth and prosperity and glory, right? Because of my fear. God, change it, fix it. And what happened? No hold. That there was no hesitation, no requirements. There was no problem with with who signed,
Right.
the name, the employment,
Right.
everything was, when you put it in God's hands, not me, because I was worried. When you lay down and put it in God's hands, he's like, cool. Now that you've got your hands off of it, now I literally can step into it and start moving. I've been waiting to move it. I just had to get you to have your hands off of it.
I actually told you that. I said, you know what? I think I'm the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm gonna stop. And I know when I actually did, and I told them they can go ahead and dress me out. When I got out from the shower and, you know, squatting and coughing and putting on the other clothes, when they came and got me, they said, well, I'm gonna let you get back on the phone because somebody from 007 Bear Bonds called for you.
Don't do you said who?
What?
Who now?
007.
Who? I know y'all heard of 666, but let me tell you about the number that comes afterwards.
That's it.
He said that there is no crime, zero. There is no hold, zero. And yet at the end of the day, your perfection ends because God rested in it, knowing that it's already taken care of. That was on the seventh day. I only came on the day to tell somebody God was 007. He didn't James Bond. Jesus Christ.
I was in amazement. It was like, wow. Yeah, so I stayed there on the phone for a little bit, and you were like, you know, I hadn't really, you know, talked to her and whatever. And then I was like, okay. So I got off the phone again. I said, I'm done. So they came and cuffed me and put me on back in the room. Like I said, they put me in 59. Mm-hmm. And then after I came out and I talked to the nurse, and I was talking about God then, because she was asking me questions about, am I a violent person? I said, not anymore. She asked if I'd ever done harm to myself, and I said I used to. And she asked me if I'd ever been in the mental hospital. I said I have, and I was telling her that I did all this stuff before I knew God. I told her some other stuff, but I just kept, you know, talking about how awesome and how glorified God is. And then so we got finished, and I said something else about God, and then the guy didn't put me back in 59. He put me in 60. He said, I'm putting you in 60 because that right there in our system, 60 means you're finished.
Mm. Well, that was true.
That was.
You had to go from 59.
Well, I went from 55. 55. No, when I first got there, they put me in one cell. Mm-hmm. And I came out and used the phone, and they put me in 55, then 57, then 59, then 60.
God was expediting. He was skipping. But most of the time, you had to walk your entire life behind the line. This is not one who finishes first, because God said, I'm flipping it and reversing it. That's what Revelation says. It says, I'll make the first last and the last first. I'm changing the order of it. You were one in the back, but I'll put you 60 finished in the front. When they look at you, when they search for you, when they actually text back concerning you, oh, he already free. He'd been free. He was free before he walked in there, free when he got there, free when he left from there. He was free indeed. I don't know what you calling for. You're checking on his welfare. Know that he was free.
I told one of the officers, he said, I said, don't put my clothes too far back in the back. I said, because I'll be coming for those tonight. He said, are you sure? And I said, oh, absolutely. God's already told me. He's already let me know. He said, okay. Feel like he doubted me. And I was like, okay, it's fine. You doubt all you want to. And as they were walking me to the back, I told an officer, I may not even need to grab a map. He said, well, it's like, you have to. It's our rules. And I said, well, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and abide by the rules. I'm going to go ahead and make my little bed. But just know y'all going to be coming for me. Yeah. And when they came for me, like I said, I went ahead and made my bed and went on to sleep. Mm-hmm. They came, they said, Jones, come on, you're leaving. I said, I know. And packed my little stuff up. And the lady said, I don't care if you leave your personal hygiene stuff in the tissue for him, you know, if you want to. And I said, sure. Yeah, I won't be needing it. And I, put my stuff down. And as I made it on back to the front, the officer said, seems like it was just 5 minutes ago. And you came back. You were right. You actually are leaving. I said, I know. Thank you. I said, that's the glory of God.
The bad thing about it is, you know how many people go in there And really from the door, they never expected to get out, and they don't.
I've been, you know, many times I've been locked up and I knew that I had nobody on the outside to bail me out. No matter how many people I called, no matter how many times I've tried, I've called bail bonds, had the money, couldn't go. I've had other people on the other side that I can call, and they tell me, stop calling me.
I went into jail my very first time on a DV charge, not domestic violence against the old female, against my uncle. I pulled the BB gun on them, and they swear it was domestic violence menacing. You can look it up. I ain't got no violence charges against no women. They have violent charges against me. That's the truth. The thing about it was, when I got there, they trumped up charges after I was probated out, ready to walk free. I had walked out the door. You hear me? You know, in Huntsville, they have two doors. They have the one you push through, then you come in the intermediate, right? Just in case something comes up. And I was that minute. I had pushed through the first door, and they was getting ready to tell me, push, push, push. I put my hands on it, and it wouldn't push. And they called me back. They said, we got to dress you out. They came in with new warrants. Warrants stuck on me. To this day, a year ago, I was freed from it at 7 years. It ain't no longer on my background. So you look it up, you won't find it. Wow. Decorative knee rules. It was heartbreaking. And then I saw they brought my friend in, who was my co-defendant, but who pled against me and not with me. Told me to keep silent because friends don't tell on friends. Found out that my friend was the enemy. Got motion of discovery told on me. The crime that he committed, that I did it. And that's the truth, because I live in this place called honesty. It's right next to honesty. Ain't nobody can dispute that. The thing about it is, though, is this: it was God who restricted me. Right. So it was God who I was calling to on the outside, but I found out he was on the inside with me. So yeah, you may have called people on the outside who turned their backs, who tried to help, who had good intent in words, but because you know God on the inside. See, God is personal. When you walk through that door, he walked through there with you. When you dressed out, he dressed out with you. When you tried to make a phone call, he was the line who pushed it through, made people answer for you, softened their heart, made them not cuss at me when I was trying to get you. He said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to protect you on the inside or the outside. It's not for you. So he has to protect you, because the world ain't for you. But this is what we knew. We knew this a long time ago, that these days will come. I don't care what they come up with. No, there's an attack of the enemy, because you're called. And the attack only runs behind people who are running. When you're running, not stagnant and dying, when you're running, no, you're running with the wind behind you, but the weight of the enemy blowing it on you.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about the disciples going and preaching and teaching in the middle of the town, the town square, something like that, and them getting arrested, and then God sent them an angel to set them free, and the angel told them, go right back to where you were and continue doing what you were doing. They didn't question. They didn't say, well, why would we? They didn't do none of that. They went right back just to get arrested again.
When you confront the enemy, Acts chapter 16 is not the one you're referring to, but this is one, I think, a few chapters afterwards. Acts chapter 16, when they confronted the little girl who was demonically influenced but paid by people who were spiritually influenced. They were not really comedic. I think they were clergic. Yes, they had the right of being spiritual, but just caught up, I think, in the money of being secular. They was pushing her. They followed him, man. But somewhere the truth caught up with her, and she couldn't lie on them. And said, these men, men of God. Yeah. But see, that was like a cuss word to them, not to Paul and the Silas, but to the Jews in Titus. It's these men are men of God. And so they found out anything on them. It didn't even list what the charges were. Throw them in jail. It don't matter what they were. And you got to be careful of people who only are concerned about what you was charged with. Why, enemy? What you concerned about it for? If you the one who gonna kick the door in, you the one who gonna hide the key. But it's your mental that you have to be free. But you walked in a free man. That's why you could leave a free man. I'm telling you the power of speaking. That from the time you went in, you were speaking, I'm coming right back out. It don't matter who hear me. If I just got to say it to me and the guard next to me, I'm good. I'm getting out of here. You can doubt it, believe it. You can dress them out in it. I'm getting out of here. You can orange me all you want to. No, before God get through, he said, Jaie, getting out of here. He said, Trevor gonna be free from this. You may be stuck here with your unhappy guarded self. But I'm telling you today, me and people next to me, and watch this, when Paul and Silas left, it didn't say the people left with them. It says them and the guard left, but everybody was set free. You freed some people last night. You was on the phone preaching to me, and I'm like, this, he never want to record when is it because it's not for the recording, it's for the people. And you was in there talking, I think, louder than what you are now. And you was in there talking about Abraham. You was in there talking about what was the one scripture about Lot. You was in there talking about how Paul and Silas. No, you said you forgot that, but you actually brought that up last night. I think there was so much word inside of you from like weeks of waiting for moments, but didn't have an audience of people who needed it. Because recording for you is different. And he said, this is your stage and you performed well in it. But then he said, well done, you can leave. And you laid down just like God did on the seventh day. I'm tired, shit, I'm going to sleep. You did that. He said, cool, then I handled it. You've done well done. You've done well done. And this becomes the ransom for your payment. That you can not make bond in it, not be free of it, not get the charges thrown out because it was corruption. He says, this is what I'm doing for you. He says, I'm saving people next to you, not for salvific grace, so that they can really start seeing how powerful God works through you. People don't believe, you know that? And your story make a believer out of somebody. Somebody needed to believe. Now they'll believe. They didn't see it before. Now that you've come out of it, when nobody showed up, that's why you can't give praises to people, because nobody could do it. But God selected it, right? He reserved it. So I'll give it to them just for you. So all I require is that you thank me. Praise me. God, thank you.
You know, I called one person, earlier, yesterday, and he didn't say, "Hey, man." He said, "Who came and got you?" That was first words out of his mouth. He said, "Hey, man." He said, "Who came and got you?"
God got me. God got me, baby.
He said there wasn't an issue with him. I said, no. I said, God worked all that out. I said, you'd be surprised at the ladies that came and got us. They came and got me. Said they reduced the price. They came and got me. They were super nice. They watched a video and they had a monkey. I said they were ready. They were ready for me. They were ready. And then, like, to even speak further, it's like they were super nice. Laughed at the jokes, was calling back and forth to make sure that we were safe. Made sure you gave them that Cash App information. Was not playing.
That's like my moment conviction. Where God is like, yeah, that happened in instance, but I've been doing that for you. Every time you mess up, so always show up under what they require. Where you pump your head up and be like, oh, it's going to be this. God, it's going to be that. God, we're going to end up. out of here, we're gonna end up this, we're gonna like fail, it's not gonna work out. And he always shows up just in the nick of time. He always shows up and exceeds your expectations. Where you thought you needed somebody else, he's like, oh, you needed was me. Thought you couldn't depend on nobody. Said I was gonna come through. I just needed have them turned down. So I put the words in their mind, even though their mouth wanted to say yes, they couldn't. I restricted their hands the week before, all them let them get approved for houses and loans and cars and all that stuff, so that they could be handicapped. Because if anybody else did it, you wouldn't acknowledge me. So I didn't have to show you your enemies. I showed you your friends who were ill-intended by my fixing it. And then I did it. And he's like, how can you, that's me, what's he saying to me? How can you dare make somebody feel bad in any light when I've been fixing for you this entire time? Does grace not extend to you? Does grace not extend to you that you allow God to use you? And not even you, but the same weight that he's been doing, you do it. And God is like, I didn't do you like that. Like, how many times do we do that? How many times do we like pray to God, God, grant me this, grant me that? And he does it. But when somebody else is like begging from us, there was a story, the man who owed the one man, and then he owed somebody else or something.
Somebody else owed him.
And they forgave him.
The king
forgave him, but the man couldn't forgive somebody who owed him. And he's like, well, now you'll pay back.
He owed the king 50 denarius, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And he said, he dropped to his knees. He said, oh, king, please forgive me. Have mercy on me. King said, you know what? Because I see that you're serious about it. You know what? I'm going to forgive everything. Because the only thing the guy was asking is to give him time. The king said, I'm going to give you, I'm going to wipe it away. Don't even worry about it. So he left. And then as soon as he was leaving, he was walking. He seen somebody that owed him five. And he started beating the man.
He said, string him up, lock him up, take away his house.
And then the guards were walking by who was there. Mm-hmm. And they said, well, what are you doing? He said, this man owes me 5.
Yeah.
And so they grabbed him and they took him to the king. And the king said, so I can forgive you of yours. Mm-hmm. He owed you 5. He owed me 2 times, 3 times that, and you couldn't forgive him. Now you're going to be locked up until you pay all of it. Not a portion of it, every last dime of it.
If you want freedom, hear me now. I ain't talking to y'all, I'm talking to me. If you want freedom, here's what you do. Acknowledge that it was God who did it behind you. Acknowledge that God sets you up only for you to shut up. And then, like, it's difficult, but I think one of the harder things that we have kind of sort of seem to like get a hand of now is saying, God, humble me. Now that'll lead you to some stuff, because there was some parts in last night conversation there was like, do you want me to cuss some, or do you got the next F word? because some of that stuff that God, humble me and help me heal where I need people to fix me, where I require them to save me, where I want them to show up for me. Humble me, but heal me. And a lot of the times we hurt us, and he takes that hurt and he uses it to heal us. They weren't there hating on you. They hated you. They weren't there hating on you. It was God hurting you, allowing you hurt you, me to hurt me. So I'm going to use that Jeremiah Pfeiffer Jr. back there, because he be hurting me. So I'm going to use that hurt to heal you. Folk break up with you, heal me. Folk leave you, heal me. Folk don't see you, won't acknowledge you, never show up for you. Folk won't even come sign or throw a piece of bread at you. It's my bread, damn it.
Right.
Say, God, heal me. He says, cool, but I got to hurt you. But believe you, I'm going to help you. You're You be careful for the stuff you pray for. I said that one time, I ain't gonna never say it again. Like if you have to hurt to do that, then don't. No. God is doing nothing but helping me and blessing me. God is taking the attack, turning it against them who meant it for me. But God ain't hurting me in this season. Right. You don't have to hurt to heal. That's it. You ain't got to do that. I've bought enough hurt. I paid the price for enough lessons. I'm tired of lectures.
Two generations worth of it. You know what I'm saying? Like we done with that.
I'm done with it. It's 60 finished.
Right.
That's what it is.
Right. Has got because I've been very cautious on, like making sure that, I steer clear of being arrested for certain things,
Oh yeah.
I'm very cautious, I even said to myself, Trevor, you've done good for so long, like we're not going back.
Yeah.
And I meant that to where in my past, my mother would say, baby, I'm proud of you because you've stayed out of jail for so long. Mm-hmm. And like that to me at the time was like, good job me, until I managed to learn how to stay out of trouble. And I was like, do you know how toxic that was? Do you know how like not cool that is? Yeah. Now, in her eyes, she's genuinely proud of me, but like, that's not a good thing for her to be proud of your child. But I asked God, why did you allow me to get these charges? Because, with these charges, a lot of people won't hire me. Mm-hmm. He said, well, you're not hireable anyways. And I said, what do you mean I'm not hireable? He said, you are a king. You are a boss. You own your own. He said, if you dare go and try and get hired somewhere, I will not let it go through. Mm. And I said, is that why you gave me these? He said, yep. He said, if you keep on, I'll give you more in order to you can see that you need to walk on your own. Walk with me, but walk on your own.
I heard him say you're already employed. You already got the best job. Fringe benefits, a strange estates. You came in with a signing bonus.
I have to see the value in me in order for me to see the value in it.
That's good.
Because I didn't.
You are your biggest asset.
Right.
Without you, your ass wouldn't be in that. You just be out of it. You're your biggest asset. So much so that God literally invests his most precious investment into you, his most precious asset into you, breathing. Mm-hmm. As long as you have that, I have value. Whether you see it or not, I'm valuable. Whether you can feel the weight of that, it's heavy in me. I know you believe it. It's valued how he allows me. Every day you wake up, you ought to lay hands on yourself. I'm valued. I'm beautiful. I'm amazing. I'm the thickest thing in the world. I'm bald, but I'm the sharpest GQ in the book. I think Vogue ain't got nothing on me.
I think there was a post you actually put on Instagram. I seen it and I liked it. I took a picture of it. I actually have it saved on my phone. It said, whenever you feel devalued, put your hand over your heart. You feel that's value. Yeah. It said some other stuff, and I was like, wow, because I've felt that before of like, ain't nothing in me. Like what's so good about me that other people won't find value in me? But I learned that I have to find value in myself before anybody else can find value in me, because people value what you value. People like what you like. People trust what you trust. People want what you want. They want to give what you're willing to give. If I'm willing to give myself, but only because I know that I can get back the most out of what I give, which would be me, then people will, they'll depend on that. So it's like with me, with my business, when you told me a long time ago, Trevor, why do you only charge so much? I had every excuse in the book. And I get it now. I got it before, but I get it now even more. People only pay for what they're willing to pay. They don't go to Stanley Steamers and try and negotiate prices.
Right.
If their carpet is saturated with with water, and they need to get that out before it starts molding. And Stanley Steamer says it's going to be $672,000. They're going to pay for that.
Yeah.
And then here comes little old Trevor back in the day would be like, well, Stanley Steamer is charging $672,000, but I'll do it for $500.
And they like, well, you know, I
Still a little too still.
get the crackhead down the street to do it. Well, go get his ass because if Stanley charges whatever and you were willing to pay, because somebody's out there is, then mine has to be higher because it's personal. It's me actually come up off the mountain to down here to this valley hole to actually. I'm doing you a favor.
Right.
This house ought to be mine for the time I come up and hit these nasty ass flows. Let me tell you something. If you see value in you, then other people will see value in you. If you see no value in you, they'll consider you worthless. And here's the defining between the two. If you lower it, that's no value.
Right.
How are you gonna go to Walmart and the MSRP? Right? The suggested retail price. Nobody argues with that. Anytime you go in a store, right? And you're like, price check, that's your moment to bargain. It's in their policy. You'll never do it unless it's marked for one price. That's why they can mark stuff down. Mm-hmm. And don't nobody say, yeah, but you'll take a friend who you've known your whole life. You'll take a blood brother or sister, and you'll devalue all their hard work. You know, they spent all night fighting with their man, trying to go, I want to make purses. You ain't gonna make no purse around here. And she made that, and you come and take that $20 worth of work, and you devalue it down to like $1 or that $200 worth of work, and you devalue it down to like, maybe I can give you 25, and she takes it. At that moment, that's when I would have cut you off. That's when I would have. And I'm like, bro, you charge too much. You charge too much of your time. Mm-hmm. That you sitting here talking to these idiots who won't pay you more than, because without you, they wouldn't even have this opportunity. We run nonprofits that provide information, just giving light to the community. I don't waste my time. If you don't come here to learn something, if you don't come here to procure it, by the time we're done with this conversation, I would have showed you at least 2 ways to get 10, 20 grand, right? Within the next like week. If you see no value in that, get out my door. Because half or more is what I'm looking for. If not, then like somebody else can take that place in that seat. I'm not coming down off of it, because without me, without the information,
never had it.
Now it's accessible. It's a needle in a haystack for you to find it with your resources, because you get exerted quickly. That's where we profit.
Right.
We come in because I'm like Kevin. I'm not in the gate. I'm outside of it. I don't get tired.
Right. Especially when it comes to finding valuable information that people will find even more valuable.
It's pretty valuable when it hit the bank and it don't bounce and it stay there for about a week or 2 or 3 or 4, or it changes your life so you can see more. And God is like, that's what I'm doing for you in this season. I'm giving you access, because most people have the resource, but if you have no access to it, this is you the bridge that I'm allowing you to lay down. So don't be offended when people walk over you. You're just a bridge.
Right.
And you can't get mad that God helped me show somebody the way, and they happen to step on your face, they happen to step on your heart. They step on you. That's what they're meant to do. We got personal and made it friendly. He says, but I'm going to remind you that you're a mat in the doorway. Mm-hmm. That's why they step on. It's not personal to you. They're just trying to get through. Anybody tell you to jump up and marry the dog? You were just a mat that was leading them.
Here I was trying to figure out what to do at the door when I was the door.
You were the door. That's why God had to open,
right,
and move you. That's why you've been swinging back and forth. Why people come and knock on you, tap on you.
I'm thinking they being offensive.
You thinking they talking to you. That's why folk can't hear you, because they're talking past you. Mm-hmm. But you leading them to God. You leading them to a way of being financially free. You leading them to a better life. On the other side of you, that's why when folk get through, they're through. Because you don't look at them on the same on this side. You've invited them to the other side.
That's why I have to let a girl alone, because she's been able to walk through. And now it's up to God.
Yeah. Let them through.
I was wondering why I could not leave that alone. Because I had to be the catalyst and bring her home.
And now she's out there on her own. No, she ain't. She got God on her side, maybe. I don't know. But here's what I do know. You brought her through. Like the same way God has been swinging you through. I know that because you ain't fell off your hinges. I know that because you ain't fell apart. And when the wind comes and knocks on you, you don't fall apart. You don't break up. Out of all the people that left you, you're still holding it together. All the people who cussed you, didn't like you, spoke bad about you, was toxic to you. Oh, Jordan, I can't believe you got that. I can't believe all that old foolish stuff. He says, I've been holding you. They've been trying to unhinge you. He said, I've been the hinge that's been holding. God, I'm thankful for you holding me. Shit, divorce didn't kill me. God was hinging and holding me. Wind was blowing, rain was coming. People that I thought would never die, never leave. Stuff, Doc, I promise you, I never thought I would see. The only reason I can come here and hold my head up, talk to you and not give up, come here and speak about it, not be on the floor in some corner crying about it. Because he's been hinging and holding me. God's been holding me together, man. Like he's been holding you together. That's why you ain't fell apart. That's why you look as good as you look. That's why my skin popped the way it do. Not because of the bugs I be trying to get up off me. Because God's been hinging and holding me.
Because it's real. I can't believe you said that. I cannot get that out of my head.
Hang in there. He's holding
you. Hanger?
Tell me the gospel of the hanger.
Once upon a time, there was some material that somebody decided to put together in a way that it could hang, but also hold.
The acoustics suck. Talk louder for my Facebook friends.
So, Facebook friends. This material was put together in such a way that it could hang, but it could also hold.
Good God.
Now, the first time that this person showed this to somebody, the other people were looking like, that's stupid. That doesn't look like anything but besides some material that you have damaged.
That's good.
I don't know what you plan on doing with this. I don't know why you made that, but you should throw that away. You are not an inventor. You are a disgrace.
Yeah.
And that person decided not to give up. He said, if they can't see the value in it, they can't see the value in me, I'll show them.
Wow.
So he called a meeting, a party of some sort, and he brought a bunch of people. And so when, back then when people would come in, they would have somebody to take their coats. Yeah. And he made a bunch of these things. Yeah. And he brought them all at a certain time when everybody got there. He called all their attention. He said, everybody having a good time? Everybody's enjoying themselves? Awesome, great. Yeah. You know how every time when you're getting ready to leave, you get your coats back and you have to dust it off because your coats have pretty much just been thrown in the closet because there was no such thing as a coat hanger. They said, well, what's a coat hanger? He says, I'm glad you asked, I'll show you. So he takes him over there to the closet. Yes, sir. And he opens the closet and he says, all of your coats are neatly hung up on my coat hanger. And they were all amazed. The people who told him that he was a disgrace, that he wasn't an inventor, that was a waste of time and material, they all couldn't say nothing. Everybody started clapping and said, you are a genius. Wow. How did you do that? He said, don't worry about it. Just know that your coats no longer have to be on the ground and get dusty. You no longer have to dust them off as you leave. That I have created and invented a coat hanger.
Coat hanger.
Not only does it hang, it holds.
It holds.
Yes. What does it hold? It holds stuff on it.
It's stuff. By
hanging there.
Hang in there.
So I just come to tell somebody to hang in there. You are holding on to the great grace and the glory of God. Even if you cannot, continue to hold on. Hang in there because God's got you. That you're not going to have to be dusty and dirty no more.
Come on.
You're not going to have to let somebody brush you off.
Yes, sir.
That even though people don't see the value in you, God does.
That's right.
And eventually he will show everyone the significance of you because you've allowed yourself to hold on. You've allowed yourself to be something that people can hold on to. You're a coat hanger.
Coat hanger. Y'all like that, the gospel about the coat hanger. And you've been holding it. Yeah. They've been holding it. I know it don't seem like it, the weight that you carry, you've been holding it.
And some of those coats are heavy.
You got furs and you got leather. You got some that are cowhide and you got stuff like I wear hoodies. Something that just hangs on you. It really serves no purpose other than when it's raining on you. I'm talking about you've been carrying it and holding it. You've been weathering the weight of it. Not the weather, just what's on your shoulders.
You don't bend.
And sometimes I feel like you come to restful places, still got it on you. Sometimes you come to eatery places, still got it on you. You come to worship invitations, still got it on you. And somewhere you said there was a man. Now, I don't know this man's name, but I know a man named Jesus who came to Calvary down a coat road named Via della Rosa, all up Golgotha's closeted hill. And somewhere on a wooden tree, he carved out a hanger and hung there for me. And I've only come on a day to tell somebody that he hung up for my coat's hang-ups. That is the pelts of skin that God sewed together and clothed the man. He hung it for me. I know there was a place where Cain chose sin and God delivered me. He hung for me. There was a place where Abraham selected himself to be suppressed while not sacrificing his son, believing God was a ram. He was a lamb for me. Job said, I'm tired of people next to me doubting God. I'll believe he is a God for me. And then at the end of the day, you said he's a hanger. So hang in there. 9th to the 12th hour, he hung in there. Yes. And then when they took him down, they closed the door.
Right.
He fell. They don't tell you that in school. That when they took the body down, it was so heavy from the weight of the coats of the world that was on him. He fell. And Joseph, the daddy, picked him up. Him and the one who comes by him at night, Nicodemus,
yeah,
the one that he loved. That's what the Bible says. They carried him and laid him in the tomb. And some stuff was heavy on you. God had to put in the tomb for you. It says when he got up early Sunday morning, it was so early nobody caught him. Looked at the robe on the sepulcher. But watch this. They had already taken off his robe and cast lots for it. He wasn't carrying into the tomb his robe because they stole it.
Right.
Oh man, I'm not talking about they wrapped him because they knew he was. It was too close to the Sabbath, so they couldn't. That's why she came back early Sunday to put the fragrance and the oil on him.
Right.
The only thing he was wrapped in was in the weight of my coat. He said he left that stuff in the tomb, never to see it again. He closed the door back behind it. He says, I'm not going to let you see it, struggle with it. And when I get up from it, know that it's dead, buried. I hung up. So you want to be a hanger.
Did Nicodemus purchase that the tomb? Didn't he?
Somebody, what was the, it may have been him. I want to say it was one of the disciples, a close one, but you may be right.
Somebody purchased that tomb just so
they rented it. Yeah. No, that's what it said, that they only rented it.
Because I know something's gonna happen. But this is a place that needs to be rented for a certain couple amount of days, just so he can have a place to rest.
Imagine going to the funeral home. I only need a plot for 4 days. There's 1 to dig it, and 3 for him to get up from it. That's what you said yesterday, the day before that. I may go in it, but please don't put no tombstone on top of me. I promise you it's going to disappoint you when I get up from here. I may go in it, but I'm coming out of it. And you better tell yourself and your enemy and your mama and your daddy too, if they don't believe you, that I don't care what the enemy said about you. You better get yourself up from here. And God put everything that you needed to pull you through inside of you. Get up from here. Girl, get up from there. Get up from there.
It's just called sometimes for you to rent, or for someone to rent certain things just for you to lay, just for a couple of days.
They can't afford to kill you. Why they rent a tax against you? But it's rented, which means that it expires. The enemy has to take it back.
If I'm not mistaken, rent can also mean a wreck or a tear.
Yeah.
So the only thing that they can do is try and try and try again, but eventually it will get rented.
It's like when you have a loose thing, it doesn't destroy the shirt. It just like tugs at the seam.
But if you keep pulling, that it'll eventually evaporate into nothing.
Yeah.
Because all the thread is together.
They gonna come to the end of that. Yeah, you gotta speak that over yourself. I'm coming to the end of that.
It may be uncomfortable if you're wearing it when people are pulling at the thread, but just realize that you didn't need the clothing in the first place. Because God doesn't see your clothing. He doesn't see any of that, meaning your sin.
Yeah.
Because he said he throws it in the sea of forgetfulness.
And then he covers you.
Right. He asked Adam and Eve, who said you were naked?
Shit.
He said, I see you as perfect. Who said that you are sinful? Who said that you are a piece of clothing? Who said that you are worthless? Who said that you are nothing?
Told you.
And they said, we did. He said, well, did y'all eat? Because y'all didn't have to eat.
Why y'all eating? David said, I ate because the enemy was at my table, but God prepared the meal for me.
Yeah, the meal of faith, the meal of his word. That's why two people, I believe, they were made to eat the word.
Was it
I know
John?
I know it was John, and it was one other person. They said, "Eat this word." He said, "You eat it, and it'll taste bitter,
Yeah,
but it'll be sweet."
it's bitter, but it'll make you better.
Said we don't get full off of food, but we get full off of every word that proceeded out of the Lord's mouth.
Yes, sir.
This food is make believe, and it'll eventually spoil and grow old. But the word that proceeded out of the Lord's mouth will never. It stays good past anybody's expiration date.
It doesn't expire. Man, I'm thankful for you today. I'm thankful that you're having me. I'm thankful that we're just able to come in to share once again. You know, if you're new here, we do this often, almost every time that we, yeah, that we. Um, you know what, man? I'm gonna tell you something. Like I rag on you a little bit because you keep on wearing rags on your feet.
From rags to riches.
That's why I rag on you, because they always come off and you walk into something new. I've never seen people so favored and blessed like you. I literally have not. And I was thinking about that yesterday, and I was like, man, that's crazy to have favor on you like that.
That's because you don't look in the mirror.
I do look in the mirror. I see. I'm not gonna say that.
Favor.
I see
Favor.
glory. I see redemption story. I do. When I look in the mirror, I see grace and mercy. I do. I see where I should have, where I ought to. Where I saw where they shouldn't have let me go. I see where I shouldn't have made it, where it should have took me out. I look in the mirror and I see grace and mercy. I went to jail one time a little while ago, and the nurse asked me, did I do drugs? And I was like, baby, yeah, I used to. I said, I used to struggle, and they check your arms. And I have a miss here and there. And I told everybody it was a spider bite, right? My son reminded me of it the other day. He said, Daddy, do you still have the spider bite? And I looked at him, and I believe in honesty in this light of life. And he said, do you have the spider bite? And I was like, what are you talking about? He said, where the spider bit you? I said, baby, ain't no spider bite me. So I'm gonna just be honest with you. I told people that, but there wasn't no spider biting me. There was me biting me. I said, I know you don't understand, but it wasn't. I just told people it was, but I still have it. And when I look at it, I don't see a failure who had a desire just to have a fix. I see somebody who took it and turned it and became stronger of it. That this didn't break me, nor did it make me, but it was God behind me using it to be like it wasn't that. It was my grace and my favor that spared you, right? That's what you said. This ain't the end. I don't know why you look at it like that. I don't know why all these folk giving up. This ain't how the story ends. I don't care what you look at. Don't care what you look at. You got to be able to determine to yourself, this is not how it ends.
It's just the strength of you. It's another chapter in that book of testimonies. That's what it is. I used to be ashamed of these, but I would still do it. And people would wonder why I'm wearing long sleeves. You remember I used to wear long sleeves in the summer.
Yeah.
Why are you wearing long sleeves when it's comfortable?
It's hot as hell outside.
Right.
You telling me it's comfortable, you sweat.
I roll up one sleeve.
Yeah.
That's what always a gang thing. First, I've never been in a gang. I hung around certain people, but I was never been in a gang. And second of all, it's because I used to burn myself to death and would cry because I needed to feel something. But that was only because I did not know the glory of God, and I didn't realize that who was protecting me. That a lot of these are on veins that I could have like burst a vein and died. Yeah. That I love telling people about. People look at and they act like they don't see nothing. And I tell them, oh, these are burns. I used to burn myself. I used to be a self-mutilator. And here's why. And I tell them why I don't do it anymore, because the glory of God. And people are like, wow, that I didn't expect you of all people. I love when people tell me, I never thought you, Trevor, would be that kind of person, or have gone through that, or have done that drug, or have done this, or did that. And I say, that's only by the glory of God. Come on. If you only knew my testimony, you would spin around and your head would pop off. I tell them that, and they laugh. And I said, I'm serious, because you just don't get and understand how the amount of stuff that God has preserved me through. He's brought me through. He's raised me through, and that I'm still going through in order to be a king on this side, and it'll still be able to profess His name.
Shit.
Because it's not about me.
Come on.
I'm just the testimony. It's not about me. People, the disciples happen to walk past me and say, "Well, God, what did he do? Why is he going through that?" And God said, "It's not even about him.
It's for my glory.
It's for my glory.
Your life is for my glory." That's what it looks like. It's what Hannah and her son Samuel. Hannah means grace and favor, and Samuel means I've prayed for him. Mm-hmm. And I know my life has been him. God has prayed for him. Yeah, God's been praying for me. That's why the folk who become the enemy can't pray against you. They may do it. They may try to. Yeah, they'll be like, well, what this and what that, and I don't know. That don't seem like it's going. I've been in that. You ain't been in this with God. That's what I told the man at the car logic, where it just makes sense in Mount Juliet. I give you a shout out to him because he was a fearful believer. After I told him, well, you may have seen situations like this, but you ain't seen me in situations like this. And I know God to show up. And I don't care what you look at on today, tomorrow, next week, or last Thursday. I know God to show up because he did it then, and he'll damn it do it again. And I know some people then damned you to it and said you would not get up from it, that you were through in it. Let them close the door. Let them push the stone in from. Let them crucify you and tell you that you through. Let them give up and call the bail bondsman and tell them to never pick the phone up. It doesn't matter. I know that if they start a hellfire, I know if they tore down the Twin Towers with you on top of it. I know if this world comes to an end with Trump as taking every black man in, here's what I do know. I know God's gonna come through for people who serve him like me and you. And some people gonna get mad about it, get real mad. At the end of the day, they just don't think. And that just don't make sense. Nope. You know what does make sense?
Bible sense.
Change makes sense.
That's why Michael Jackson said he was talking to the man in the mirror. He's asking him to make change.
And he died.
That was the change, because he'd probably been living a life of certain things that he felt remorse for, he felt bad for, so he asked for change, and the change that he could give was his life.
And sometimes that's the ultimate sacrifice, because people can talk about it, but when it comes time to paying the price and literally not getting accolades for it, can you lay it down for them?
You asked me yesterday, you said, if God's sparing you, was God taking your life, would you still do it? You know, I was uncertain about that, and I not that I didn't know the answer, but I had questions, or I had to think about some things in my head before I could give an honest answer.
Yeah.
But ultimately, yes, take it, because I know that it's sparing me and other people. The other people may not look at it that way, but if my death would be a testimony to the one that I serve and bring them to it, then do it every single time.
He said, pick up your cross daily. Would you pick it up? Not carry it. Pick it up. But when they picked it up, know that you can only pick it up if you're hanging from it. Mm-hmm. So he wants you to be crucified with him. That's what Paul said. He said, I no longer live. I've given up this life. He says, any man, good God, any man who tries to save it, they'll lose it. Mm-hmm. Be willing to give it up, John 16. Be willing to give it up, and I promise you, you'll pick it up. Is God sparing you, killing you? Absolutely, every single day. With the sadness of how evil the world is killing you. With the weight of people not being believers when they see signs and miracles. Jesus said, this generation will never see a miracle. And they saw many of them, but they never saw it. Stood over Jerusalem crying, God, what is wrong with these people? Says it'll be in the days of Noah. God will be weeping and people won't see it. They'll see it as torture. It said to be in the days of like Sodom and Gomorrah, men with men, women with women. It said unnatural things will be happening. And I don't believe that's just humans. Because I've been seeing a lot of babies that look like a little hyena or a dog. It's crazy stuff that's happening. Not in just sexual impurities, but in our economy, in our political system. It says when you see the abomination that causes desolation standing in a place of isolation, causes isolation standing in a place of desolation. That's going on right now. When you see it in abomination, coronavirus is just an abomination. How they lie on God. It says standing in a place causing isolation. Now you come to God's house. It's not his house, but how you come to the place we call God's house and make people isolate from being there. It causes desolation. It says that's when you know that the time is not yet, but it's near.
That's the beginning of birth.
Listen, you gotta know that in that you may be isolated, quarantined. You may be socially distanced. Believe it or not, it looks like it, like we're not, but we're 6 feet apart. Practice it. Know that this happens when we're separate. That's when it starts to incubate. So this is the starting of it. I had to separate you from them so that you could get more room inside of you just to birth what was in you. It had to incubate first. So God had to move you from them to let you know I was pregnant with everything that he put inside of me. So excuse me if I don't acknowledge you. Excuse me, don't get offended if I don't say thank you every time. Here's what I'm saying. I was just birthing the pain of it. And then he said, once they gave birth to him, talking about the dragon, it says when you gave birth to something that should have killed you, when you gave birth to whatever they said wouldn't work for you, that it would consume you, that the fire would be too much for you, the pain would hurt you and kill you. It says then shall the end come. And I know your end is coming. Your end of being doubted. Your end of living life like this. Your end of coming to a place of being like, God, I don't know if you're going to work it out for me. It says that end is coming because you birthed it. You're literally birthing your better, your next, your new. And I know that because the Bible says your latter shall be, not might be, shall be what? Greater. I'm birthing it. I'm separate, but I'm birthing it. You're distant because you're pregnant. You're literally pregnant. I want to tell you that last night that I didn't have the opportunity. I pulled off the thing. You're pregnant.
I do know.
Birthday.
It says, I'm only 6 months.
I just like doing that.
Birth it. No. It says God will say that men will be drunk off of the fornication of Babylon, and he will tell his people, come out of her. And a lot of people will not hear, but he says when he destroys Babylon, the people who did business with Babylon, who were drunk off of the fornication, will weep because they made so much money from Babylon.
Oh, that's hard when you talk about the stock market. But God said Bitcoin. And you got to know that God will push it, will make it profit while they weep. It says that their profit makes you sad. It does. Every time the stock market goes up, I get sad. You should pay attention to that, though. Those are sad days. No, my sadness on those days. When the stock market goes up, I feel down. When the stock market goes down, Bitcoin goes up, I feel good. And he tells me today, he said, their sadness is going to make you happy. Not that you're rejoicing that they're sad. I have a little party in the back room. He says that knowing that the end is coming. You know how much I look forward to the ending of this in real world sense. Like you come to a place in life where, God, I'm okay if you take me.
Right.
Yeah, I wake up some mornings, and if it were not for my children, like, God, why am I still here? I know I have purpose and calling, but I don't think life is going to be like 50 years more for me. Here's what I do know, though. Whenever that day comes, I'm ready. I'm ready. God just helped me get my family straight. That's what Ply says. And that's the gospel that I retrieve. Here's what I know though. You better make sure your election, as my grandmother said, and your calling is sure that God, did I do everything you asked me to do? Now I don't know what's on the other side, but I know what his promise on the entrance is. Well done. That's what I'm working for. A well done on this side. Come on that side. I want to hear him, not people. I want to hear him and say, Jeremiah, well done. My good and my faithful.
You know, one of the hardest things was to be
well done.
Was to walk away from birthday well done. But you better. Was to walk away from them kids. Well done. Was walking away from them kids, and it started months before. Yeah. Because he told me that you won't be in their lives too much longer. And I'm uncertain if they will come back. But he said that I have to distance myself. And I hated that every single day that I had to. But I know.
Really, because it looked like you liked it.
I know up until a certain point, I did not. And God sent people in my life in order to distract me and keep me busy and like frustrate me that way, so I could be so distracted and so frustrated that where I seen them as a burden.
I know God to do that. He'll tell you something, show you something, you won't see it. I won't see it. He'll be like, they're not meant. I'm just telling you now. I know it was good last season, but bro, in this season that they can't go. But God puts an intermediate like time frame right here, where for some reason we just fell apart. For some reason we just can't click. In this season, I don't know what she did to piss me off, but that was a final straw. He puts that cushion there. Yes, it's gonna hurt you, but not as bad if I had not hurt you before. This hurt was them walking away, you being separate from them. It's going to happen. Your prayer tomorrow helps cushion it today. He hurts you to help you.
I knew towards the end when they would come out and be like, Uncle this and Uncle that, and I'll go knock on your daddy's door. That hurt.
Mm-hmm. Now it makes sense though.
It does.
He says, we'll understand it better by and by. So I can't tell you everything in that moment. It will give you peace, but you're not meant to understand it until later. That's what being a servant affords you, understanding. Some people just die. God's promise is to explain every question, wipe away every tear. And that's just him answering you. This is why I did that. I know it hurt you, but let me wipe that away and explain it to you. It makes sense.
I just know that I can't be their protector.
Know that the other part of that is true too. That it's not the end.
Right.
That they're coming back. It's going to be better. It's going to be so nobody can take it from you. I have had separation anxiety. I would hate to get close to people because almost everybody that I knew loved died. Mm-hmm. So I distance myself by default. See myself getting close to a person like, nope, leave it alone. He said, I'm doing something for you in this season that you can have it in the house with you and not be worried about nobody taking it from you. Legally have rights, not only in the natural, but in the spiritual, that if they even say anything about you, I'll strike them dead. Warn them folk, don't put their mouth on you. Because I kill them before I let it take it from you. And God's been keeping true to his promise. Don't mess with me. People next to me, gotta kill you. You too.
That's real.
Your daddy and your grandma. Because she was toxic. That's what Noah said. She can't come.
Yeah. Grandma Bertha cannot come.
She can't because her name was Bertha. And she always trying to birth something, but she's a grandmother. Mm-hmm. Sit down and weave something. Mm-hmm. Believe something.
Like people told me so many times.
Achieve something.
Like I would get frustrated and be like, he's here. Why do they keep coming to me? Somebody had to like let me know. It was multiple people, but I didn't really get it until later that I was all they knew. I'm all that they knew. No matter if mom and dad are here, I know uncle will do. Yeah, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. I know I asked them. It may take a while. They may not even answer, but I know uncle, he can be dead asleep, and I go, uncle this, uncle that, and uncle will get up and make sure that we take care of. And I didn't get it. I used to get frustrated. But that's how God is for us.
Yes, yeah.
We go to people and we like, but you literally sitting right there and you see that I'm hungry. You say that you would feed me, but they will not get up from this slumber. They will not get up off of their video games. They will not get up, period, because they see no value in you. But all you have to do is just go to God.
There's some people who can be sitting right in the back room and will never walk to the front. We're not talking about folk down the street talking about they come see me. There's some folk in your bathroom who come out the damn bathroom to check on you, or you just fell and broke your neck trying to bring them some toilet tissue to wipe their shit. Let me tell you today, there's some people, but God said, you're not waiting on them people. He says, I'm a right now. There's some people who have the will, but aren't able. And there's some people who are able. Not for you. They're like, nope, I will not. They cannot form the word will or yes. when it comes to you, all they know is won't and no. And it's crazy. God says, I'm willing and I'm able. I'm able and I'm willing. Tell them people where they can go. I'm telling you today, I'm willing, I'm able. Oh, he just waits for you to ask. For you to be like, listen, okay, God, you do it. It's like, got it, tag team. I'm in there. Let me step in there and defeat Sting.
Right.
Not the Rock, because he couldn't, because God was the Rock. Said, I'm undertaking the Undertaker. I'm DDT and BB and C now.
And you won't let Kane nowhere near you.
I said BB and C. That wasn't a fighter. That was porn.
I think that actually was a fighter back in the day.
It was. His name was. That's been our show. I hope you enjoy it.
You know, we didn't talk not once about Job and the mob.
We did. We implemented it, and you have to weed through an hour and 32 minutes to find it. It's in there. Happy scavenger hunting.
I know when I edit mine, I will take it out just so they weave through and don't find it.
Yeah, you'll never find it.
You'll never find.
By the time that this post, you're gonna be like, it's gonna be already edited. You won't find it. Yeah, I've been editing in my mind. I've been setting up the timeline. I've been wearing my shoes. You got shoes. I got shoes. Everybody got blues shoes.
But God said, take them off.
Take your shoes off. David said, okay. Sorry. Okay, all right, now it's time for devotion. You ready? You're tired.
You know, one of the biggest things that I was thinking in my head, man, is when I was on the phone, one of the many times was I won't get a chance to do devotion